So my last PC is fried, so it's time to build a new PC. And I'm super excited. I have all the parts that I need to do it, although I don't have the hands to do it. I'm still recovering from radiation burns, I know, ouch. So I'll need a second pair of hands. And Kim is here to help me do that and learn along the way. It's been quite a while since I've actually built a PC, so don't make fun of our technique in the comments, but let's go build this thing, yeah! For the case, I chose a PHANTEKS ECLIPSE P400S. The reason I got this case is because, well, for one thing, it got such great reviews. Also, it has tempered glass, which is kind of a trend you'll see in the 2017 cases. Also, it has the dust filters included, which is really nice. The whole thing looks really nice, and all of the cabling can be hidden in the back, and it's just a pretty sweet case. I chose the white over the black because, well, I've never owned a white case. I think it looks pretty cool. So first we removed the tempered glass, and well, one big thing I noticed about the entire case is that it's black, and I ordered a white case. There's some white trim, and this is the power supply shroud. That's also white. I'm not real sure why there's some white and some black parts. That's a mystery. This is the side of the case where all your cable management goes, and this is a really nice touch for this. Notice this is Velcro to hold all your cables and stuff into place, so you don't have to use zip ties. I just thought that was a really cool touch. This bay here is for your mechanical drives, and this one here is for your SSD SATA drives. Nice layout. Also, the case came with this accessory box, which comes with a few dust filters, lots of screws and zip ties, and also this RGB light strip here, the LEDs. It's a really robust strip. It's got this thick gel kind of plasticky rubbery material, but look what's on the back. Magnets. That's how you can connect it to the case, and look how easy it is. Boom, it just lays there, and that's it. Nice.
Voila.
All these computer parts are going to be piggybacked on the MSI PC Mate motherboard. Now this is a pretty good board for the money. It's not the top end motherboard, but it's perfect for this build. It has the new M.2 slots for SSDs, also USB 3.1 ports, which is cool. That's new for me as well. I've never had 3.1, that's fancy. Also a new USB-C connector. And I just like the layout of this board. It's pretty cool. So yay, MSI. For the CPU, I'm going to pop in an i7 Kaby Lake chip. This is the 7th generation Intel i7 chip. Clocking in at 4.2 gigahertz. There's 8 megs of cache on it. 4.2 gigahertz. Did I already say that? Okay, so we have all of the I/O ports and the audio, the switches, buttons, everything like that. It's all connected to the motherboard. Now it's time to put the brain in there. So this part will be scary because it's the brain.
Scary.
Crazy.
Why did that thing just pop off?
Okay, got it. Now this pops off because we don't need it anymore.
So that's like a throwaway?
Yeah. So on top of that is where we're gonna put a heatsink.
That is super frightening.
That is pretty scary.
That is crazy.
Scary.
It is.
And for cooling down that Kaby Lake, I'm gonna toss in some air cooling, not the liquid kind. This time I'm gonna go with a really nice Cryorig H7. This is a rated, one of the quietest CPU fans you can get. It beats all of the other standards, the Evo 212 and a lot of the other ones people used to use. This I believe is probably something that's going to be in every 2017 build, that at least if you want to cool it with air. So it goes on the back plate. So now we have these long screws coming out. Cool. Power supply. So what's going to power all this stuff? Well, a Corsair 650 watt power supply. That's what. That's why. So now it's time to put in the old power supply, and this one's a little tricky because we're trying to figure out which orientation does the power supply go. There's a vent on the bottom where you can put a dust filter, so I'm guessing the fan goes down, so that will be blowing down to the ground. These are the modular slots here, and we'll have to figure out what types of cables we need to plug in those holes first before we finalize the mounting. For my main system drive, I'm going to toss in one of these Samsung Evo SSDs, and this is 500 gigs. But you know, this isn't just any SSD. This fits in the brand new M.2 slot on the motherboard. Normally your SATA SSDs, the data throughput is about 500 to 600 megs a second. Well, this bad boy goes up to 3,200 gigs a second. Okay, so that goes right here. It is a Samsung 960 Evo. I have purchased the Evos in the past. I have a couple of SSD SATA drives that are Samsung, so I'm just kind of sticking with that brand. Since this is a gaming build, of course it has to have an awesome video card. Of course, but also for video editing, I need those CUDA cores as well. So I went with a 1060 GTX, and this is MSI. I went with the MSI because it had one of the more quieter ratings as well, and the two giant fans on the front will cool it down just right. Next up, the video card. First of all, need to remove this little thing. So tell us, Eddie, what do we need to install next? That's right, get your little snout in there.
What's in and what's out? What's this all about? I don't know what you've been doing. All that I know is, oh, that I do miss you. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel.
Of course, you know you have to put memory in there, so I'm going to go with the Corsair Vengeance. 2 sticks of 16 gig sticks, totaling 32 gigs. I've had a problem in the past with just running 16 gigs on Windows 10 while having Photoshop open and a couple 4K files being edited in After Effects and having my editor open. There's no way to juggle 16. I'm always running out of memory, so this time I'm totally gonna throw in 32 gigs and hope that's enough. The last thing we need to do is put RAM modules in there, and that's all we gotta do.
The last piece.
Sweet.
The last two pieces. Alright, is there a particular order to this?
Cool. So now we just need to get some power to the power supply and turn it on. All right, here we go. Maiden voyage. Hey! I love this PC. Everything about this build is silent. You cannot hear this thing running at all. You can even change the color of the LEDs with a button in the front. You can just kind of cycle through them. It looks amazing. It performs amazingly. I just love it to pieces. Well, that'll about do it for this video. Speaking of, this video was edited using this PC. It's all done, it's great. I've had no issues at all. In fact, I've been using this computer for the last month, and I love it. I love it so much. It's so good, it's so good. Thanks to Kim so much for helping me out and being my hands. Since then, my hands have healed, and now I can click the mouse again. So big thanks to her, and she learned a lot through this, and we had a whole lot of fun. So until, I don't know, 3-4 years maybe, I'll probably be building my next PC. But so thanks for watching, and see you next time.